Piggy Chapter 9 is now out and it took place inside of the city. Now, before we move forward, I do want to say this video will contain spoilers as I will be talking about all the Chapter 9 secrets, reading all the notes, and some things you may have missed. We also did a full playthrough of the chapter, so if you want to watch that video before watching this one, feel free to do so because again, this will contain spoilers. And if you also want to know how to escape, I'll also show you guys how to do that too. And I must admit, this was probably one of the hardest chapters thus far. Also, if you are enjoying the Piggy series and also the prediction videos, feel free to leave a like and share this video. Also, feel free to subscribe for more if you want to know more about what we think about Chapter 10. I'll also be pointing out some really cool things and kind of prepping you for Chapter 10, and we will discuss all this in the near future. With that being said, let's get straight into Chapter 9, The City Secrets. Chapter 9 in the city was a lot of fun. I must admit, I want to start off by saying that this was a lot of fun. It was actually a lot better than Chapter 8. I did feel like Chapter 8 was a bit easy, which I think most people actually know that, but Chapter 9 turned out to be a lot harder. So I do like that little mix there, as in I felt like we had a break in Chapter 8, the carnival, which was, again, it wasn't easy, I would say, but it wasn't as challenging as Chapter 9, which makes you really appreciate all the effort they put into the game. So Chapter 9, The City, takes place in the city, which is technically the safe place for Pony and Zizzy. So as you start out, Pony and Zizzy, you guys are on the rooftop, kind of looking down like Batman. You look like the Three Musketeers. This is awesome. And then they say, there it is, our safe place, which is the city. But it looks like it's a little bit run down, at least. Cars are everywhere. And for me, it didn't look as safe, and I knew this was going to be challenging. And what made this chapter really challenging is because we had two piggies chasing us. So being that Grandmother Piggy may appear to be one of the older characters, it's really cool that they made one of them a bit slower. I don't know if that was like a little Easter egg thing there, or to kind of balance out being the fact that we had Ellie, also Ellie the elephant, which was a piggy inside the map. So you have two of them chasing you. One is a little bit slower, so their speed isn't that fast, and Ellie is kind of quick, I will admit. So it really balanced that out. Again, I don't know if it was just to reference that the grandmother's a little bit slower in general, or it was to balance out the speed. I more or less think it was to balance out the speed of both piggies chasing you. I think it would be a bit OP had you had both piggies chasing you really fast. So back from the rooftop, Zizzy says that they'll be pretty surprised that we found someone. So it seems that they are actually going to possibly meet Ellie and possibly to meet Grandmother Piggy. So if we go in that, that all depends if we're trying to figure out exactly, okay, are they going to the city to see, you know, Grandmother and Ellie? Because I will also explain why I think they were also going to them, because I would say they were like a 4-person team. So I think we had Pony, Zizzy, Ellie, and we had the Grandmother Piggy. And I say that because once we get into the city, there's some really cool things that you notice in the city. Not only that, all the cars are around, so I'm assuming all the animals were also in the city before. But I'll get into more detail about the car reference. I don't know if the car reference plays point in the time frame of things, but there was a lot of cars here, so I won't really get too much into detail about it, because we see cars that we saw in the forest, we see cars that we saw also in, I believe it was Chapter 8 as well. So yeah, I'll get more into detail about that one. But why I think they were actually going to the city to see Ellie and Grandmother Piggy is because the main building that you're going into, if you did not notice, that's actually called Ellie's Enterprise. So Ellie actually has an entire building. So Ellie is doing really well. Let's just say that. So Ellie, this is Ellie's Enterprise that you're going in. Also inside this building, we have secret notes, which I will totally get into in a bit. So we have Ellie's Enterprise there. And also on the other side, we have a shop by Grandmother's Piggy. So yeah, this is very interesting here. And that's why I think they were actually going to the city to visit them and kind of take you to a safe place. Not just to visit them, but they found you. They're going to bring you back to this safe place. And it looks like these characters were infected, Ellie and Grandmother Piggy, which is quite unfortunate. And then you have to try to escape, which I'll get into the ending a bit, but let's get ready to roll into the notes. It is unfortunate though how, again, as soon as you start meeting characters, they get infected, and I also think something will happen to Pony or Zizzy, but again, I'll get into more detail about that later. But let's go ahead and start out with the first note that we see. So with the first note inside of Ellie's Enterprise, we see a note in a file cabinet. And this note says, we need to start recruiting soon. I'll start with my closest friends. TSP. Now, this is like, are they actually, like, this is where I'm also thinking that TSP could possibly be evil, because we can take this in a way that they're starting with the closest friends. Either they're recruiting and turning them to all infected, or they're recruiting them to also help. So what do you think about this one? Do you take this note as something evil, as in we need to start recruiting soon? So like we need to start infecting more people. I'm even gonna infect my closest friends, and then we're gonna grow this infected army and pretty much take over the world. I may have exaggerated just a little bit, but you get the notion of what I'm saying. So that is the first note. We need to start recruiting soon. I'll start with my closest friends. And this was written by TSP. We also did a video covering who we think TSP might possibly be, or if it's a group or it's an actual person. Again, you can feel free to check out the prediction videos on TSP. I went into full detail about it with the notes that we got from chapter 8, the Carnival. And if we go over again in Ellie's Enterprise, we get to another file cabinet actually, and in this file cabinet we also see another note, and it says, news of a cure has been going around, funded by Mr. P. Let's hope all goes well. Now, it didn't actually say who this was written by, at least, but I'm just gonna say, let's say it is TSP. So maybe TSP will go against Mr. P in this, but then again, Mr. P is the one that's also infecting people with these potions. But I do think maybe Mr. P intentions are thinking that maybe this is the cure, but it's actually not. So the fact that news of a cure has been going around, that means that more people are knowing that Mr. P is actually spreading these potions around and getting people infected. But then you also have to maybe take into account that what if Mr. P is being framed? We also found another important note which says, poor George, he disappeared when my family acted up. I hope he's safe. Wow, what a letter here. So it seems that this person, whoever wrote this note, has a bit of feelings or just sorrow for George. Like George seems to be just, you know, the missing person here that we're actually looking for, and the whole mystery of Piggy in general. Now, I don't know if whoever wrote this note actually belongs to the Piggy family, at least, but when my family acted up. So who knows? This is quite interesting here. What if the potato with the flower actually wrote this as well? So when the family acted up, let's say Mr. P actually acted up and made George go missing. I don't know. This could be a very big theory here. So again, this was also found in the Piggy shop as well in the city. So maybe the grandmother Piggy wrote this. I don't know. We can go into detail about this again, but I'll do some more thinking about this one. But this is a very crucial note right here. Also did the liberty of checking all the cars as well in the map, and I didn't see any other notes. So do let me know if I didn't miss any notes down below in the comments as well. And now that we got all the notes out of the way, I'm going to show you a very secret in chapter 9, the city. So if you actually go to the rooftop, and if you look in the window, we see a shadow. Now, who is this shadow exactly? And from the outline, remember at the end of chapter 8 where we saw the picture of Mademoiselle, which was the picture which we think is Mrs. P, so Mr. P's wife or daughter. You can see that is the same exact outline because you can see the flower and the shape of the P like as a potato. So this looks amazing here, and this raises a lot of suspicion. So looks like you're being watched here on the rooftop. So who knows if they're in there, they need help, or if they're just kind of looking out and watching just to see what is going on. But I thought that was a really cool secret here. So after completing all the tasks, I mean, fire extinguisher, there's rooftop, there's also dynamite going off. I mean, there was a series of events during the city map, and it was a lot of fun. Also being chased by, you know, 2 piggies. It was quite intense. So again, I had a lot of fun doing this. I definitely want to do a live stream on all the chapters as well. Let me know if that's something you want to see me do on the channel. So once you escape, there was Pony kind of guarding the door at least, and now it got activated, and then you leave out with Zizzy and Pony, and it starts off by saying, so Big B Stats, or you know, your name, what were you doing before all of this? Now this scene here shares some details about the theories we had early on. So it turns out that you are a police officer. So you do start out as a police officer, which would make sense of why you went back to the station. So you say, I was a police officer looking for someone. What about you two? And that someone that you're looking for is actually George. Again, George is pretty much the center of all of this, which is why I think George will also play another part in this as well. It's just a matter of when and where George will make the appearance back, if any. Maybe George is dead, who knows. Now Pony says, I was trying to become an optometrist like my father. So that, I don't know if that plays anything spectacular in there. Pony just kind of throws in these words, but I'm sure Pony's gonna say something super important, and I'll do some research and see if there's something that maybe Pony does say, or something that can maybe tie into something. And Zizzy says, and I was a fencing coach. I even taught my little sisters. So again, Zizzy was such a high requested character, and it's really cool that they added this in here. So maybe we'll see a bit of more of Zizzy's family and the sisters. But in this scene here, something very crucial, similar to chapter 8. If we look down this alleyway, that's not trash, ladies and gentlemen. That is a black shadowy figure. Yes, someone is watching you in the alleyway. And that actually is from the beginning of the ending cutscene until pretty much you hear a noise, and then you kind of get startled, and you're like, what is that? But Zizzy continues on to say, I'm so relieved that they're safe here with me. So the sisters are safe. Pony says, yeah. And then Zizzy says, how do you end up at the carnival? I heard you were looking for Mr. P, and the shadow's still watching you. And you say, Mr. P's been giving out potions. They turn you into the infected. So people are knowing that Mr. P is giving out potions. And you say, I need to stop him from doing this. And yeah, this is getting interesting. Zizzy says, you should at least stay here for a little. We can help you find him. And then you hear a noise. Pony says, wait, what was that? And then you say, I think someone's watching us. I'll go check it out. But good thing Zizzy actually goes with you. So the black shadowy figure actually goes down. Now the fact that Pony's also left alone and says stay safe, I feel like something can potentially happen to Pony while Pony is there. I'm almost certain Pony will possibly come back, maybe infected, but again, I'm not sure 100%. That's just my thoughts and theories on it. But you go back there, and that's the end of chapter 9, the city. So very, very interesting there. So some things we also learned. Ellie has their own building, Ellie's Enterprise. We also had the grandmother's piggy shop there. I believe that was the grandmother's piggy shop. Also, Mr. P is giving out potions, and they are infecting characters. You were a police officer, possibly still a police officer as well. You did meet Zizzy and Pony in chapter 8 too. These notes are explaining a lot too, especially about George as well. So this is very, very interesting here. And yeah, TSP also has written a note there. But now if we elaborate a little bit more on this shadowy figure in the alley, who do you all think this could be? I mean, it could be Ronald McDonald. No, maybe not Ronald McDonald. It could be Baldy, because it's completely shaped like Baldy. Okay, Baldy is confirmed. Baldy's in Piggy. Just kidding, it's not Baldy. But I do have an idea on who I think this could possibly be, and it would also make sense on who I think it would be. I don't want to go based on the shape, but I have a really good inkling and idea of who it could be. So yeah, I'll be sure to share that with you all in the next upcoming videos on my chapter 10 predictions. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know if you guys did enjoy chapter 9 yourself, and let me know down below in the comments if you're looking forward to chapter 10. And again, make sure you are subscribed and have on notifications. It only takes a second, and I'll try my best to keep you guys up to date with what's coming, also my predictions and theories, and also sharing some of your theories throughout the videos as well. But I thank you all so much for tuning in. I wish you all the best rest of your day. Have a safe, happy, and healthy one. I'll see you in the next one.